truth in the newspaper? I mean, I don't think there was anything in the newspaper that wasn't the truth. You know, why would he all of a sudden get so excited? And I don't think Carlton sees our local paper, does he?
Exactly.
I think there's somebody else in this room that got upset and got things going. That's just my opinion, Bill. Thank you.
It was also published right in your guys' budget, the date of transfer, so you knew exactly from the time that I was out of the statute of limitations. It was published right next to it, the date of transfer. So hiding behind that you didn't know it was out of the statute of limitations is a bold-faced lie, because it was printed right there. We have Google now, you can look it up anytime, what the statute of limitations is.
I just have a question, Sharon, right? Tammy said that, and you guys, that you're gonna fill the conservation vacancy. And I was asked when, they said, soon. What about all these other vacancies that we can't fill? Why can we fill the conservation if we can't fill any of these other things? And, I mean, we've got so many places that have got vacancies. So how can we fill a conservation one right now if we can't fill the other ones?
We have applications that came in for the zoning, and the Board of Adjustment will be looking at those shortly, I would think. Because that was just, I think, on the 30th.
Is conservation district appointed?
Yes, conservation's appointed, but we'll have to advertise for that.
So you'd advertise and review the same as you would for the other boards, like the zoning and adjustment. Thank you.
And you will interview candidates for zoning and board of adjustment? How many candidates do you have now for board of adjustment and zoning? And how many are men and how many are women?
I can answer that.
Can we get that information, just knowing that we need to achieve gender balance on zoning, so there need to be women appointed?
We're gonna get hard at kind of that happen.
And will you interview candidates to assess their qualifications? And will all three of you be involved in the interviewing?
I certainly hope so.
We would hope so too, because we've seen kind of 2 against 1, and we would encourage you guys to work together. And to make decisions as a team, not shut one person out.
And then will it just be the 3 of you, or are you going to like have some of the other county employees giving their, opinion on yes, no, in favor of?
I think it'll probably just be us.
That would be nice. That'd be great, because you guys are our supervisors.
Any other comments?
What's your timeline for appointing to zoning to fill those vacancies?
The timeline for applications was just over.
But I mean, for naming someone, for conducting your interviews and for naming someone
We
to
haven't-
zoning.
We haven't
decided that yet.
When do you talk about this stuff? Because you're not talking about it openly in these public meetings, so we're having to ask questions because it appears there's meetings outside of the meetings to make decisions. And the purpose of the public meeting is to have public discussion, so that's why we're asking. And also, you know, if you guys can be more proactive about openly communicating, take the jargon out, don't speak in code, don't be cryptic. But with the way the business is being conducted now, it leads a reasonable person to say, what are you hiding and what don't you want the public to know? So we've been waiting now since last August. There were people who applied last September by the deadline you set for zoning. They've never been contacted to be interviewed, yet you sit here and you tell us, oh yeah, we're gonna interview them. There was one time that 2 of you had made a decision and Kurt Helmer hadn't even seen the applications. You'd been sitting on them and hoarding them and didn't share them with the newly elected supervisor, so that's why we're asking.
That's not true.
It is true, Dan, we have it on video.
They were here, we've always had them here. Bill's had them, it's been Bill's desk or my desk. Kurt could look at it anytime he wanted to.
When do you guys have the discussion between you 3 on what's not said here? You got a set date, a set time, or what?
We haven't set a time
Why
yet,
don't
but
you
we
set
So when do you talk, other than when we get out of here? When do you guys get together and have a meeting or talk about these issues?
Whenever we will, we'll let you know. We will-
After a year,
No.
you still don't have a
No, it won't be.
set time? Since last August?
It'll probably have to be in this room, because we can't all three meet without being an open meeting.
Why don't you set a date right
So-
today?
So that means our interviews have to be in front of everybody.
So what are you waiting for?
The applications they were just closed the 30th.
No,
of
they
June.
were 2 weeks ago.
Last
They were
September.
closed last September, then you tried to appoint Karen's father,
We reopened them.
who had applied after the September deadline, and then you didn't act on that, then you opened it up again. You know, I'd say, guys, your actions are creating a lot of questions about transparency. And we're here in the open, asking you openly and asking you to follow the Iowa Open Meetings Law and conduct your business openly in public. You have citizens that are willing to serve. You have a number of qualified citizens who've applied. We heard last year, oh, nobody applies. You had an outpouring of qualified people that want to serve. Now, after seeing the behavior at the Board of Health meeting last week, I think there's a lot of people that are gonna question whether they're gonna give their time to Tama County if
Right.
they're gonna face the kind of bullying that you allowed your attorney to do, but that's another issue. You have people that are willing to serve. It is unreasonable for you to keep kicking the can down the road for more than a year. It leads to the question, what are you hiding, and why aren't you meeting the law to have gender balance and appoint some women to the zoning board and fill those vacancies? Plus, the terms expired on June 30th. Today is July 3rd. You've got terms that are expiring because of the fiscal year. You guys meet every week. These things should be on your radar to stay current. Why isn't it happening?
It will be happening soon.
When?
Well, we need to discuss that.
When?
Talk about it
When
amongst
you discuss
yourselves
it?
now. Yeah,
Let's
set a
get
date.
this done right now.
We've got a calendar.
I got a quick question before you guys, I got a feeling you'd wanna adjourn pretty quick. Have you heard anything according to the redistricting board? I mean, I haven't heard anything, so.
We have been working on the maps in our office, trying to figure out how it's gonna work with you guys, figuring out what options might be available for that.
Okay,
I know Laura was going to try and get hold of you guys to get a meeting set up in July this month,
okay,
so.
okay. I just know when, I got vacation set up, so.
No, I know she's hoping to do that.
Yeah, yeah. I don't have to cut my vacation short.
I know, well, I said it, so I should be able to get it.
Thank you very much.
I've been watching. You're doing good.
I know it's gonna take more than one meeting.
Yeah.
It's gonna take some time, so.
And what's
Yeah.
the deadline for which that?
December.
December? And then you need to have public hearings on
Yeah,
that?
early September.
So there's, so time, it's July, time to get going.
Very good.
Thanks, Bill. That
Is there an
quite a-
estimated cost on that redistricting?
I do not have an estimated cost on that.
It's required by law because the people voted to expand the Board of Supervisors
yeah.
from 3 to 5.
I just wondered what the cost was.
Who left the cage open?
You're speechless.
Okay.
Nice to see you, Dennis.
So if there's nothing else,
Carry on.
I will adjourn the board at 10:02.
I'm hoping I get past him. Out the door. Hey, that's,
Don't get to see Dennis very often.
yeah.
All right.
He has some lots of.
I didn't really even notice that.
anybody we can.
Very good.
We'll get our lawyer too, but John, now he's the other guy that we need either.
During the day. I can do damage in a heartbeat.
How's your blood pressure now?
Sure, really high.
We know. And I will tell you, I was sitting next to
Always good to see you, Heather.
The weeds did really well. I feel really good because I don't teach anybody. How are you,
Nice holiday, guys.
With the cramp, can I just get your name?
Yeah.
And Don's spell, you can write that down.
Oh, no, it's fine, Ashley.